This is the Critical Conversations podcast, a KPOV special project developed to feature unique perspectives and the courage it takes to go there, challenge mundane thought, and question the norm.
So we are moving to talking about Pride Month, which is June. We have Alex of Central Oregon, Alex Simpson of Out Central Oregon and Central Oregon Pride. So Alex, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Good. And so we have June is Pride Month. And can we start out? Can you explain to us why is June Pride Month?
So June is Pride Month because in the summer of 1969 in New York City, there was police raids at a gay bar called the Stonewall Inn. And that was whenever the patrons of the bar fought back, basically said this is enough and they weren't going to get arrested and beaten and harassed anymore. And so every year since then, there have been growing Pride celebrations across the world.
So the Pride celebrations are in honor of really what happened at Stonewall.
Yes, absolutely.
And so it may be obvious, but if you could talk about why is Stonewall so important to the LGBTQ plus community and movements for equality and liberation?
Well, up until that point, it was, it was illegal to be gay, to be queer, to be trans. You couldn't be openly out back then. It wasn't okay to do that. And so it was kind of one of the first big liberations for queer people. There were other riots that had happened, but Stonewall was kind of the big one that really started it all. And before that, we weren't actually allowed to legally exist. And even after that, we weren't. It was the beginning of a much, much larger movement that is still happening.
Talk about what is Out Central Oregon? What do y'all do? What are your goals?
So we are a nonprofit. We were started about 4 or 5 years ago. We're a nonprofit here in town benefiting the LGBTQIA plus community. Our biggest goal is to bring people together to give visibility to the LGBTQIA community in this town. Because I think that as we grow as an organization, we're realizing how much larger the community is here and that folks just didn't really have a space to come and be and celebrate their uniqueness and their queerness. And so our goal is to bring people together and let them know that they're seen and to be visible.
And what are some of the things that Out Central Oregon does to bring that visibility and that connection?
We have several things that are regular that we do. We have our monthly night out at Dogwood every third Thursday, which is a night where queer people can come and gather at Dogwood Cocktail Cabin. And in the alley behind there, we offer free HIV testing as well to hopefully, spread awareness and end stigma behind HIV. And then a lot of the work we do, we don't actually plan a lot of events besides our Pride and Winter Pride Fest, which I'll touch on in a second. But a lot of the work we do is actually just helping promote the work other groups are doing and other gatherings and things like that are happening. We promote them. We help get them on the map. We bring people together and just supporting the community in that way.
And so go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to mention Pride.
Yeah, I was good. That's where I was headed too. And I thought we'd talk about Pride and then maybe fill out some of the other things that are happening this month. So yeah, let's get to it. Talk about Pride, when, where, all that fun stuff, and then we can talk more about what's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely. So we do have Pride happening in the park again this year. It's our first time being able to do it since 2019. So we're all pretty excited about that. And it's Out Central Oregon's first time actually putting it together. So it's been a really big challenge, but we are very excited for it. It's going to be on the 25th of June in Drake Park, and that's going to be from noon until 5. We have over 100 vendors who are going to be there. There's going to be food, entertainment, community, vendor booths. We're really excited this year. All of the entertainment that we have are all local people who belong to the LGBTQ community. That was very important to us. So we have music. We're going to have drag from the Cult of Tuck. We have a band playing called the Rum Peppers, who are phenomenal. And we're really excited about that. And so, yeah, that's on the 25th in Drake Park. Earlier that day, we're doing our Pride 5K. And so that's going to be starting in Drake Park as well. So that's going to be really awesome. It's great. It's more of a fun run. It's not like a serious thing. So that's really cool. The night before Pride, on the 24th, there's going to be a fashion show that we are organizing, and that is going to be at Midtown Ballroom. And that's going to be really cool. It's featuring all local queer people and artists, and they're all having to make their own garments. There's 3 categories. There's 10 people involved. That's going to be a really cool night. And then on the 25th as well, we also have a drag show from the Cult of Tuck at Volcanic Theater Pub, which has actually not been announced. So you're hearing about it now.
Scoop. Scoop.
And then after that, we're going to have a dance party at 10 Barrel East. That's going to start at 9 p.m. So that day is just chock full of events. And then the next day, I just found out we're going to have a drag lunch happening at Bunk and Brew that's called Ladies Who Lunch, put on by Fertiliza. So there is just 3 days full of events. I'm already tired thinking about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, who has the caffeine? Right, who's the caffeine vendor for all of this? That's a pretty incredible list. So maybe we can break it down a little bit. What are you looking forward to, and what is what is the goal? What are you hoping to get from the fashion show, other than not having a lot of fun? I get that part, but right.
Yeah, number one is having fun. I think it's a really neat way for us to showcase the artistry of some of our queer community members. There's also going to be an art display of other types of art as well from local artists. And so I think it's just a really, really neat way to help showcase the many talents and different skills that the LGBTQIA community face, especially in a town where sometimes there is less representation because the sense of community hasn't always been so strong. And so we think that's really important. And so we get to show off with pride, the many talents. And plus, there's some really great prizes for the winners. The first place winner wins $1,000. I believe second place is $250 and third place is $100. So there's also, when there's money on the stakes, it makes it more fun to watch too.
Right, a little competition, bring out the best in everyone. And so you said something that generated a question for me. And can you talk about? I don't know how long you've lived here in Central Oregon, but you may know more about times before you lived here. Maybe you lived here your whole life. I don't know, but can you talk about the change in the community in terms of being supportive of the LGBTQIA plus community?
Yes, absolutely. I'm going on 12 years here this September. And so I've definitely seen a massive change and a massive shift in the community here. I didn't have a big sense of community for many years when I was here. I knew queer people. I had queer friends, but there was never a sense of belonging or a place to be or a place to gather. And I happened to start my own drag group called the Cult of Tuck here about 4 years ago. And that was right around whenever Out Central Oregon was starting. And so I just joined the board of OCO this year, but I've been working with them since the beginning of my drag career. And what I've noticed is that the more that we make these spaces that are safe and inclusive, and then that don't just welcome queer people, but celebrate them, the more people are encouraged to come out and feel at home in the community, and they feel like they belong. And the more events we do, the more people do come out, and the more they keep coming out regularly, which is just such a neat thing to see, like watching all of these people and hearing from them that for the first time ever, they have a place to belong. That's a really special and important thing. And so it's been really cool getting to work with Out Central Oregon for all these years and help bring people together in that way and make them feel safe and at home and welcome and celebrated, it's a truly astonishing thing, and I am beyond proud to be a part of it. But mostly, I'm just so happy that people finally get to feel at home where they live.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that answer. That was beautiful. You can't see because it's on radio, but Laura just gave a great like fist pump. So, Alex, I want to ask a similar question about drag, the purpose of drag, and what you have seen in the community, in yourself. Right? I mean, what does it mean to you personally, and then to the LGBTQIA plus community?
I think that one of the most special things about drag is that for people where we've been told to, dim down our queerness and, like shut it down and to assimilate. Look at Stonewall. Look at what happened there. We've always been told that we're too much and that we can't be ourselves authentically. And I think that drag is this beautiful thing where it's these people on stage who are up there being the loudest and queerest versions of themselves. And they become these champions of the community because there's this boldness to it and this excitement and this celebration that we don't always get to see everywhere else. And I think that's something that's really special about drag. And I think that whenever you see someone else being so authentically and loudly themselves, it inspires others to do the same. And I think that's a really, really special thing. I know that it did that for me. When I started the Cult of Tuck, I had never been to a drag show. I had just done drag once, and I decided I wanted to do it more. And so I started my own group. And then getting to see the feedback from the audience members and the crowds and how much it meant to them that we were there is a truly remarkable thing that I didn't anticipate. And it's helped me learn so much more about myself and love so much more about myself over the years. And it's helped me be a better person for myself and my community. And I think that's a pretty awesome thing.
Yeah. Thank you, Alex, for sharing that. And, for being so bold and courageous, right, to step out and on the stage and do all this great work. You have a lot of fun doing it too, I assume.
Oh my gosh. Everyone has a blast at our shows, but I always assure everyone that we're having just as much fun as they are.
Okay, good. And so the Cult of Tuck will be at Pride itself.
Yes.
Okay, on the stage. And then again, that night at Volcanic. Did I get that right? Okay.
Yeah. We're going to be at Volcanic at 7 p.m. so that you can get done with our show and then go to the dance party.
All right. So, a big fun day. So Pride again, June 25th, noon to 5, is it, at Drake Park?
Yes.
Okay. So, can you tell us maybe a little more detail about what people can expect, what there will be to do at Pride?
Yeah, there's going to be a whole kids and teens area, so that's really nice. It is a family-friendly event. And so that'll be really nice. I mean, we're expecting thousands of people in the park, so that'll be cool, gathering outside in the fresh air. And yes, tons and tons of food vendors, a bunch of small businesses selling their wares. So we get to help support other local businesses as well, which is really neat. You can buy some stuff from some really neat people. And then we have the entertainment aspect is going to be amazing, a full day chock full of entertainment. So there's going to be something to do at every moment, and also just being surrounded by like-minded people who are there yearning for a sense of community and togetherness. I will say that all of the Pride events I've been to in Bend in the past have been there's just magical spirit in the air. It's a really special feeling. It always makes me feel so bad for anyone who doesn't support it because I feel like they don't know that joy that we feel whenever we're all gathering like that. And, so it's going to be a really special day with a lot to do and lots of good food to eat. I'm such a foodie, so I'm so excited about that. Crater Lake Spirits will have a whole little drinking area for those who imbibe there. That's going to be all fenced off and whatnot. There's really something for everybody with Pride in the Park.
Right. Alex, loved how you described the magical spirit. I've been going to Pride since the first big one, right, in Central Oregon, the first really public Pride back in 2005 when it was over in the little pocket park at McKay, and it's my favorite festival of the year in Bend, without a doubt. I mean, you're right. It's delightful. It's colorful. There's just that high, beautiful, like you say, magical spirit. So thanks for putting that particular label on it. That'll make it easier for me to talk about. And right, I do this interview for Pride Month and Pride every year on KPOV just because of that, because I think it's such an amazing festival. And having been involved since helping to organize the first one, it has come, I can't even tell, right? A really long way. When you mentioned thousands of people, so great job, way to go, Out Central Oregon and others for making that happen. Alex, if you've got about a minute, if you have any final words, including, please tell people where they can go to find out more information.
Yes, absolutely. So you can look up Out Central Oregon on any of our socials. We are constantly posting and doing the work. We're entirely volunteer ran, so it's run entirely by the board of directors. So it's a lot of work, and so we like it when people see the work that we do. Mm-hmm. But then you can also visit us at outcentralorgan.com. There we have the events page, just a little side menu bar there, and you'll hit events, and that's where you can see all of the amazing things happening and all of the amazing things we're promoting and doing. And so it's a really wonderful resource, and I like to tell people to tell that to any of their friends in the community who might not know where to start or to look to find community. That is a great place to start. I've been recommending that for years. So.
Okay, Alex Simpson of the Board of Directors of Out Central Oregon, outcentralorgan.com. Central Oregon Pride coming up with all kinds of things around it. The Pride celebration itself is June 25th at noon. Fashion show the night before, run, drag show afterwards, dance party after that. So, and then a drag lunch, right? Or just a lunch? Just a lunch.
No, it's a drag lunch.
It is a drag lunch. All right.
Run by my sister, Fertiliza. Yeah, it'll be really cool. Then that one's at Bunk and Brew.
Okay. So full schedule. Thank you so much for joining us, Alex, on The Point. We'll get you back on. This was really fun.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having us, and thanks for doing this.
You've been listening to a KPOV Critical Conversation. To hear more engaging interviews on important topics, please visit kpov.org/criticalconversations.